Hi everybody, my name is Gerone Wright, and once again you're joining me on my Geronification channel. Okay, um, what we have up here is an interesting piece of artwork, and this artwork I borrowed the image from one of my subscribers. Their banner has this image up on there. So what I did is I didn't know what the name of the image was, or um, I didn't I didn't request the name of the image, and also what I basically did is I just took and I just I not copied it, but I actually took a photograph. A picture of the image, and now I'm putting it up. But this ancient, I guess it's an ancient Renaissance piece of artwork, and it references biblical figures, and they're always shown like entering the room, and you actually see the main figures as being in the middle, and then a trailing off line on either end of the other referenced individuals. It's my position that these artworks, not just it's not limited to just one. I'm talking about all globally are ancient artworks are referencing, just like with the Last Supper, the same exact thing, like with Jesus being in the middle, okay, and Mary Magdalene on one side and Jesus on the other, on how these genetics in a cauldron cult-like way originate from off the ends, the tail ends, and come in through to the middle and are bridged over. It's the same thing with the Last Supper, Da Vinci's Last Supper, and many of these other ancient Renaissance artists whom actually captures the same identical thing. And just as is in the Last Supper, what happens is that they utilize the clothing to describe the genetics, the intervening genetics of the creatures or the beings being described. And in this case, I highlighted this already for you. You can see the clothing creates the heads of creatures. Look at this. Look at the clothing here. Eye, nose, face, mouth, and it shows this being's leg coming out of the clothing. Okay, it's showing you. Look at this being right here. Look, let me bring that in closer. I'm gonna zoom closer. Hold on, because this is the. Look at these creatures' heads in the clothing, and look at how the legs come out and cross over. Look, cross. You see you know what that means, people? The leg crossed over, cross-referencing of genetics. You see that? Look at the eye, the head. Look at the nostril, the mouth of this being. And I remind you that the legs. This is this person's wardrobe, and the head is up here, right here. But the head. Look, check it out. This gets crazy because the head to these legs are actually up here, and this is the wardrobe of this person. But look at the wardrobe that this person is wearing. The head of a creature. The eye, the nostril, the open mouth showing you the legs coming out of it. It's showing you, people, the genetics that these people, these ancient genetics of our ancestors, from which we evolved, they're describing a genetic grail of the creature's genetics that they are intervening and reintroducing in a cyclination process and a mating process that evolves them further from the originating source of our ancestry, which is ape, Africans, Asians, and to finally creating the new likenesses from all of which is emerging our Caucasian counterparts and new genes therefrom. Genetic manipulation, bridging, and contamination and destruction of all genes. Now, look at this right here. Here's another, and you can see fish and everything else in here as well, people. Look at the head. This is the eye. This is the wardrobe of this being here. This is also in at the Last Supper. all you have to do to identify these creatures, look at my Last Supper video, and you will see the coloring which match that of Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper, on which creature is actually being described. But I'm going to turn this sideways before I get to you to. Let me bring you the head of this creature right here. I'm going to turn this sideways. Look at this. The eye, nostril area, and look at how it's shown the genetics from this creature intermingling with that creature. All through clothing, people. All through clothing. Through the posturing of the bodies and the alignments of these bodies of these that the artist captures, these people cluster together in a way to show you how these genetics were bridged over. Look at this. Like some kind of sci-fi nightmare movie. Look at this. Oh, let me get that creature that I actually showed you. Here, let me see that, if I can get that creature. Let me see the best way to look at that head there. Hold on for 1 minute. I'm going to take this away. I guess there is no best way to actually see it. I want to show you. Oh, here. Let me show you here at the door. The doorway is the most telltale sign of the creatures that you recognize, because these are, look. But anyway, you see the head of this creature here, the nostril, the mouth, and all of that. I'm gonna bring something else into you. Hold on. Can I get that in closer? I'm gonna bring it in closer because there's at the doorway. Now I'm not familiar with this image either, people, so I'm not gonna give you the name, but I'm gonna show you what genes that they are showing you that they are changing. I will show you that at the door. At this biblical figure, right here, you know what that is? That's the head of a pig, right there. You see that, the darkened area? This figure, this biblical figure, you see, this is a pig. You know what that's describing? It's the same message that Leonardo da Vinci is making in that of his Last Supper, where there's controversy being that of Jesus and Mary Magdalene next to him, and they're saying no. Well, I know that this person, even though it's projected as being a male, this is referring to as that being female genetics. You know why? Because the female, through these ancient encrypted texts, the underlying message, encrypted message, is the female as being the pig, the genetics. And this is the first time that I ever mentioned that. But the same encryption Leonardo da Vinci has with that of the Last Supper, where Jesus is there, and it's reported that that image is being Mary Magdalene, but it's not verified. But that same pig head, if you look at my video, is there too. And this is how, not just that in describing it, but through other ancient Renaissance artwork, I can show you that the pig is referencing the genetics of that of the female. You ever heard a woman being described as being that of a pig? Alright. Look at these heads, people. Look at this head. There's the eye, the forehead, the long nose area, down to the mouth, bottom lip area, coming over to the head. You see that? Right next to it again, here's another head. The legs coming out of the mouth area, the jaw, the eye area, jawbone area. See that? Coming over top of the head again. You see that? Nostril, nose area. Then look, where this one looks actually like more like a head figure. Look, head, eye, jaw area. Look at this. Around the mouth area. You see that there? Male slash face of a lion-like figure right there. You see that? Look, 1, 2, 3. Then this being here, showing you that of like being like a fish, showing you the body of a fish, and this person partially emerging. Same thing at the Last Supper. Look at my Last Supper video. I make the same encryption disclosures. Now, what being are we describing? These Renaissance artists put the genes on which these people are genetically contaminated and bridged with, and contributing to a process, like cauldron-like process that is altering the genes of mankind, showing you that which gene each being is carrying in a contributing way to alter their genetic sacrificers, as was Jesus. Now, over here, you can't see, and this is a poor picture too, by the way, people, and I apologize, but we have some intelligent followers, so I'm sure that you probably either know this image, know where this image came from, or you'll run across it and you'll be able to describe it as well, or you can just use my points on how I point out on how this clothing and the close proximity of the bodies create this genetic linking information and underlining message on how these genes are passed on. So you'll be able to use this as to demonstrate on how you can actually look at other images in the same way. So if you don't find this image, you'll see it. But over here is a male figure. You see two balls. Hold on. Let me move this over. There's a male figure there with the ball. He's there. And then there's another male figure here with a ball, and he's facing that way. There's two balls. Now, you know what they're telling you? There's a man here, he has his back to you. Then there's a man there that's facing you, and each one of them has a ball. Do you know what they're telling you? These two black balls are either in that they're testicles. There's the balls of a black man. The black man's body, which is between them over here, represents the penis. They're telling you that they genetically bridged over that black male's penis. The only way that could possibly happen is through homosexual, bisexual acts. Look, we have two balls. We all know that balls are related to testicles. I'm gonna take you there, people. Hold on, I'm gonna take you there. I'm not gonna leave you hanging. Those two balls showing you from the black male penis, they actually extracted, they bridged themselves, reintroduced themselves to the genetics of that ape man, that African man, and extracted genes to be contaminated this guy again, and bridged over and weakened the genes. It's a reintroduction. It's my position that every 500 to 600 years, a reintroduction, contamination, and extraction happens, and each one of these Renaissance artists, in fact, I like to say it this way, a process of such magnitude and of such scale has to have a large scale record in keeping. And it is my position that these Renaissance artists captures that record. Look at it. Look at that head there. This head is amazing, isn't it? Look at that. Look at these heads. And there's even actually one here as well too. But look, and it's showing you how the ball is given to this head here. But anyway, check this out. Back to the penis. These guys with the penis, because it's always about the genetics of our ape and African ancestors, and the penis and the vagina. Okay, so You can't see because it's cut off. I'm going to bring up another picture, which is actually blurred as well too, but you'll be able to see it. There's a ball there, and there's a ball here, and the black male represents the penis, which is right up the middle, showing you that these two bridged over this guy's penis, his sperm, his semen. They not only genetically contaminated him, they extracted out in a cyclination process, a sacrifice of their bodies to break down this black gene, to weaken these genes, which were a tough cookie to crack. The record is very clear, people, and is captured not only in our ancient biblical texts, but globally across the Asian world, everywhere, people. The Egyptian, all of these people, the record is stating how through the process of a cult-like process which engaged homosexual, lesbian acts, and contamination of genes originating from that of our ape and African ancestor and beyond, that this process has always been in place. Knowing back in a time, I mean, it's amazing because scientists, the knowledge in this stuff is not even known to our scientists today. Look at these faces, people, and look at this. Look at this snaking over, back over, showing you this cross. Look at this. Look at this, people. But I'm going to show you the black man. I'm going to make this video short. I'm not going to continue on. I'm going to show you the black guy. I wish that I had actually had. I'm going to run across this artwork probably later. Remember the two guys holding the balls? Right there? Yeah, I can actually back it up. Do I have the... Oh, yeah. Remember the two guys holding the balls? I'm going to back this off. Remember the two guys holding the balls? Here they go, right here. Remember I told you they were the balls of a black man? African man? African origin man? Now, what's more amazing is that they're telling you that this man is genetically present with a strong presence of our ape ancestor. Now this picture, this image, people, I don't know the date of it, but we all can agree that it comes from a Renaissance era, possibly 13th, 14th, maybe 13th century. And this knowledge should not be known. That's the most important thing. If you reject everything that I state about this, then what in the hell do these people, how these people know, this artist know, that mankind in his time emerged from ape? Well, I didn't show you the ape yet, so you could, I can't argue that yet. Hold on. I'm going to show you something. Let me show you the ape. I'm going to draw this out for you. I can come across this end. This black man, this African man, in the shadow part of his head, there is a ape figure back here. A monkey. Right there. I'm coming, there's the lip, separating line for the lip. The discoloration part of, you know how the ape's mouth is discolored there? There's the ape's nostrils right there. Even has the whited out areas to create the ape's eye. And look, people, the ape's face is attaching that guy. Look. ape's chin, the ape's mouth, the ape's nostrils, and the ape's eyes and the ape's forehead, showing you the presence of those genes. And then if you understand the entirety of the message which is being stated, you can start seeing these genes in transition. You'll see reptiles. You see that reptilian right there? You start seeing the faces of other beings that was showing you that this guy was genetically contaminated and broken down, and through this cauldron process of this circle right here, these genes were extracted on both ends. Well, what is being extracted? You have to be able to see the creatures in order to know what they are. I know what the creatures are, people. Look. This is crazy here. Look. Do I have these colored out? Yeah. I have this highlighted. Let me take this down. Let's begin. You have the ape over here. I showed you the ape. Okay, you see the ape back there, the figure, the shadowy figure of the ape, which represents this guy. Showing you the breakdown of these genes. Now check this out. Look at this guy right here, this Napoleon or this Constantine looking figure. Across his back, his wardrobe, is a two-headed serpent. You see that? You see the face on the serpent? Look at the lines. Look at the separating lines. You see this? Look. You see that serpent? You see that? It's a two-headed serpent. Look at the face on that. Hold on, I can bring that in closer if possible. Look at the lips. Look at this, people. The eye. Even what do you call it? The antennae on this thing's head. Look at this, people. You see this? Look. Then it shows you, if you know what you're looking at, the genetics that this other end is intermingling with. A two-headed serpent. Genes, genetics, shown in motion, that these artists cleverly captures. Now, shows you which is extracted, which is bridged over, which is extracted, and which is captured here. This guy, the same exact thing. And always wherever the ape is, always there is the presence of the witch-like woman who is the mother of creation. And she can always be seen as the dominating factor. Her lips in the equation. Her eye. And she is in the beard of that guy. Hold on, you see that right there in the beard? The hair, the beards, the flesh, all indicators of mankind's genes, or how we are genetically profiled and genetically identified. The compelling piece here, people, is the association of this ape with this African figure and everything that I've told you, which is actually being stated by that. In a lot of cases, they do not even use the African figure. They just use the ape or the encryption of the ape because for this reason, because it's too easy to identify what is being stated here. So, this image, this is why a lot of these images are phased out. This is a rare artwork that shows you male, white, Caucasian interacting with that of a black or African male figure. This cyclonation, this circle, this cauldron-like process, again, which involves homosexual acts, exchanges of blood and then semen, and a breakdown, a contamination, a destruction of these genes, are ape and African ancestry together. Ape and African. Ape on the back, African on the front. An attack, a genetic warfare on this being's genetic being. Now, I'm going to share a little story with you. Remember, as we were all growing up in youth, on how they always stated that wherever there was a presence of a interaction of a Caucasian female actually having a baby by, or anybody having, any ethnic group, any civilization of people actually having a child, a conception of a child with a black male figure, then the child would be considered that of black. That said, people, is because of the fact that me as of an African descendant, we have a stronger gene presence which dominates the genes over the civilized other beings of our world. But now what is happening is that our Caucasian counterparts are changing that, have changed that. They learned, and in this artwork, again, people could be from the 12th, 13th, or 14th century, but still yet, this knowledge, people, is not supposed to be known. I mean, just up until recently, it's been confirmed that all man can emerge from Africans. Just recently, science adopted that idea. And as ape being our ancestors, I mean, this people, the evolutionary chain and passage of mankind has just really actually been confirmed. So what are artists so far, so long ago, having this information in their artwork? Then you find it amazing that Nostradamus, that Leonardo da Vinci, that Michelangelo, that these wonderful people were so smart, and those that contributed such a wealth of knowledge through their artwork or through their dedication to science, how they knew so much. But people, let's not forget that art was controlled predominantly by our religious world, our ancient religious world. In other words, you did not pass your art onto the world without checking with them first. So this in itself tells you that those responsible, the artists, their art mentors, their colleagues, those that they had to check with first to release their artworks, popes, kings, queens, were all in unity with an understanding that mankind emerged from ape through to black man, and through genetic manipulations and bridgings, which engaged homosexual and bisexual acts and lesbian acts as well, people, new genes were created. And subsequently, miracle babies such as Jesus and other ancient biblical miracle babies, which seemingly don't happen today because they're being passed off through royalty, because we don't buy into miracle babies today, do we, people? So they have found other clever ways to disguise these moments, which never they happened back then, but coincidentally they don't happen now, because we have evolved to become too smart to realize that such things do not occur. So these people have become more clever. It's my position that the Vatican, ancient religion, globally, are the cover-ups for a cult-like process that causes for the destruction of one being and genetic bridging over of same to create likenesses of other beings. And this explains, look at the face, people, of this guy. Look at the shadowy figures. Look, here, you want me to draw you another face? Here, I drawed you one in the beard of this guy. Look at this guy's face. Hold on, let me see if I can give you another one right here in your face here. Look, people, let me show you how it shows you. Because there's multi-dimensional faces here. I'm going to show you how, if you look at this guy, this is his what, left eye? Hold on, right eye. Look at the other faces in his face that are shown going in both directions. Can you see that face? I can give you a full descriptive image of that face right there. Let me see if I captured that for you as I back away. You see that utilization of this guy's right eye, these shadowy figures. You know what these are? Genetics in motion. Multi-dimensional images that shows you how all of it in the process, there was a breakdown of our genes. Let me show you. And you can see the reptilian-like creature in the shadowy figures up in here. I love artwork like this, people, because you know why? It's there in your face, and it's no denying that who we are, who we came from, and who knew it and suppressed it from us. The knowledge. Let me see if I gotta step away from that again. Did that creature come out for you? Yeah, there you go. Shows you how I can take you and show you the ape, the African. I can tell you how the ape was created, which goes before that, beyond that of mankind. You are just learning about mankind coming from ape through to African, and Africans being the cause for all that man in existence, and then the later subsequent likenesses. I've described to you how from this likeness, this ape ancestor of ours, came this guy, and I described to you how subsequent likenesses through genetic breakdowns with creatures that our Caucasian counterparts came. Well, again, it's all self-describable if you want to believe what I'm telling you, because how did this guy get the hair that he has? How did this guy get the beard that he has? How did we get green eyes, lighter skin pigmentations, red hair, and all of this, people? How did all of this come from an ape? And Africans, even in on the Asian continent, that are closer to our African ancestor, even in the Chinese world, their hair, their eyes are all of the same appearance. Until later, I mean, there was a genetic mixing coming in, but For the most part, our Asian world, their hair, their eyes, and their skin are all the same. Same thing with Africans. It wasn't until we evolved into our Caucasian world and Caucasian likenesses that the hair changed, the eyes changed, and the outwardly genetic appearance a change. Watch my videos and that tells you why. Because they learned how to genetically alter themselves through a cauldron-like process that evolved horses, hippos, lions, tigers, and I like to add in bears, oh my. On the Wonderful Wizard of Oz, I like to lions, tigers, and bears, oh my. Elephants. You know what, people? All of these creatures were genetically introduced injected into these beings to create the likenesses of these beings and destroy genetically who these beings were, their genetic identities. Look at what is happening today globally. People, my name is Gerone Wright. You're watching my Geronification channel. My position that this guy represents the penis. Each one of these balls represents his testicles. And it's my position that all of these beings are shown in a cycle to where they engage homosexual acts, which included the sharing of sperm and blood. And through a duration of time, these genes were extracted, a contamination process almost similar to that of AIDS, taken into these beings, and then now from this creature and this guy's genetics taken into these guys, genetic sacrificers, which I like to call slaves according to Da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci describes them as being slaves because they're mulers, they're carriers of this gene. Their bodies are captivated by these genes, and then these guys, through a process of this enslavement, the genes are broken down, then freed, and now these guys have extracted a new created gene, and it shows a continuation of how those genes are sent back out. The entire artwork can be read and shown you from the beginning of our ancient ancestral time through to current. The same description of how these genetics, the passage of these genetics can be described. Each and every individual of our world can be genetically identified by the process that our ancestors underwent to create the later likenesses of themselves. Remarkably, I can take you not just this way, I can take you back this way from this creature, opposite that of this creature, which is very important because it tells us how this creature was created. Now, who in our world can tell you how apes were created? Who in our world that can tell you that our ape ancestor had a reptilian ape ancestor? The problem being, people, is that, and most disturbing, is that who we genetically are has always been in our face. And now today it has even become worse because not only did they flaunt it in their biblical artwork, but it's being flaunted back to us in things that we see on TV and movies, things that we see being commercialized on TV, things that are in the screenplay and script play and the plot play of kid cartoons, products that are being sold to you that are in the design fashion of your clothing, in the curtains that hang in your home, in paintings that you can buy in a 5 and dime store. Or should I say, there are no more 5 and dime stores unless you live, I don't know, maybe you might in your part of the world. They don't even have dollar stores in my region no more. It's like $2 and $3 items. But $2 and $3 items, pictures that you can buy and find hanging in your home. Such as, in fact, I have one right here. This image that is actually a mass-produced painting sent here from China, or made in China. I did a video on this too, people. What is in here is shown here. Look at the video. You don't even see it, but in her head wardrobe, right here, you know what this is? One of those little mini horses right there. Look right here. There's the face and the head of a reptilian being right there. And over, up in here, I believe, I gotta show, well, see my video on it, because you can barely see it. Where's that lion's head? There's another creature here. Look at this creature here, people. Look. You see these creatures? Look at this, the snout, the mouth, the head, the ear. And this is in the wardrobe on this guy's shoulder. But look at these creatures. I'm going to show you something for a minute. Now how this guy's shoulder, his wardrobe, creates the head of a calf-like creature. Look. Eye, mouth, nostril area, the head. Come over here. The reptilian head, right there. Eye, mouth, nostril area. Now check this out. Then we have a horse right there, the mini horse. This would be the horse's mane right here. There's the snout, the mouth, and the eye up in here. I got a video on this. You actually have to see this. And then there's a lion. I can't see it now, and I'm not going to go, but there's lions that actually show pretty much the same exact thing of what I'm showing you right here in this. Hold on. Right there. These are the same beings. Right there. Showing you how from an era so long ago to an era that is now. Let me see if I see that lion for you right quick. So I can. Where the hell is that lion at? That you don't see. There's actually two of them. Oh, here's one of the lions here. Showing you how these beings, here's one of the lion's heads right here. Look at how the lion's head, right there, there's the nose, there's the mouth, there's the eye, is morphing. It's like a picture in a picture. Now here's the framing of the picture out here. It's like multiple framings of the picture. And do you know what and look, you see that? Look how the lion's head, and it shows you how the bloodline of the lion comes in up here. There's another lion up in here somewhere. It shows you how it's morphing in and changing up in here. Morphing into the picture. Now check this out, people. So what is the overall message behind this picture? Now look, you have several different likenesses of Africans, from their darkest to the lightest of version. And you know what the message of this picture is? And this, I think, is like a $3 or $4 or $5 picture that was generated on mass production in China. Got a reptilian being here, an ox-like creature right there. Now you don't even see these. These are people. These are not things that stick out in your face. This is what I see through my multidimensional sense of awareness. You cannot even see these images. So what in the hell is a horse doing encrypted in the headwear of this woman? And this creature being encrypted into the wardrobe, the body wardrobe of this male. These animals. You know why? It's telling you the same exact thing. Look, these animals, they're wearing the skin, the cloak of these animals, which is the genetics on which they've been contaminated with, and that they were wearing, and how they were genetically broke down. That's what the message of this picture is. And then what subsequently came from all of this? The same thing. Just like we see the balls right here. You see those balls? In the corner of the picture over here, there's a red ball. And you know what that tells you? That through the process of what is being stated through the underlying message of this artwork, a new bloodline was created. And that's what this entire picture is about. A $5 picture that you can find in one of your swap meets or one of your flea markets. My favorite though is the horse right there. The eye of the horse, the nose of the horse. This would be the mane right here of the horse. And I drew it out for you too, people. And there's also an ape in there as well too. Genetic bloodlines being altered showed you how the African world, these are African, how they were genetically broken down and a new bloodline created. And the artist that created this image boast of their knowledge of how it happened, and they put it in this cheap painting, and then actually took in and put it in mass production, and now in the China world is being sent back out into America, and possibly in millions of homes around the world. This image appears, and they're attracted to it. And you should be attracted to it. You know why? Because this is your ancestry. This is how most of us, I don't care whether you're white, you're black, I don't care who you are or what you look like now today. But this is the process that started, initiated how you became. And this is an image that commemorates all of that. It's just not telling you what it is. My position, people, is that not just artwork like that which transcends to the day. It's my position, people, is that these artists are not supposed to have known that ape created black man, and through altering processes of our Caucasian counterparts, that new genes were created and altered. And contaminations, global contaminations. To understand this, you can understand everything ancient of our world. You can go to Egypt and read the glyphs on the wall. You can go to ancient Angkor Wat and read the hidden messages, the underlying messages in the artwork there. It doesn't matter where the art is. It's all stated the same exact way. You know why? Because art transcends. Art is a barrier, a language barrier breaker that everyone understands if the message is given to you right. Understanding this helps is the key to everything else that is global, because the messages have always been the same. Shows you how each civilization, our ancient civilization, knew how to genetically alter themselves from this creature and this creature. And all of the creatures that came afterwards. And this is what is being happening today. Look at this face, people. This is so spooky, isn't it? Look at this face with other faces in there. If you look, you'll see a morphing line of it. And supposedly this guy's beard and the shadowy figures that are in this guy's face. Look, chin, mouth, nose. Sharing of the eye, his eye with that. Look at the shadowy figure, how it creates that. And then the other side here. Look, people, and his entire beard, his entire being shows that what is going on here, what is being stated. The same as what is happening here. My name is Gerone Wright. You're watching my Geronification channel. And again, people, you should be angry. But then again, you should be happy because I'm showing you who you genetically are. and who is responsible from suppressing that knowledge from you. My name is Gerone Wright. You're watching my Geronification channel here on YouTube. I'll see you on my next video.